I'm Shanti, and good morning to those of you joining live with me. Really good to have you here. We've been having a chit chat before the recording began, and some really interesting points. So, really great. Always great to have you all and to connect with you all. And also, very warm greetings to those of you tuning in now through the YouTube recording. We also think of you frequently, and our yoga and our thoughts and good wishes are with you. I've been given a topic, and it's a very timely topic. So I'll speak on this topic and then invite those of you who are with me to come in with any further questions. And all of us are preparing for the festival of Rakshabandhan, which is actually a major festival for the Brahmakumaris. Um, it, on one side, it's a festival of outreach and community. So BK sisters go to many places during this festival because in South Asian cultures, it's a festival between brothers and sisters. And so our BK sisters, they're like sisters of everyone. So it becomes a very good way to network, connect. Everyone feels really happy to receive Raki and blessings and Toli from the sisters. And they feel that it's like a holy experience for them as well. So on one side, it's a great opportunity to connect, and you can think about how to do this. I feel very pleased. This is our first year we're doing a Raki program at the University of Birmingham, and we're actually doing three Raki programs. One is for the staff, and that's more like an informal one in their heritage afternoon that they're arranging. Other people are arranging that one. Then we have a BK Raki, and then we have a community Raki as well. So it feels good always to serve others during this festival. So if you get that opportunity, maybe your center is running things, or you can also think about things, if not this year, future year, how you could have even a little Raki program. Maybe you could take your family members to these programs, friends to these programs. My father, he was not a BK. He was a worshipper of Sai Baba. Many of you will know of that guru, Satya Sai Baba. Um, and he was a follower there. But he came every year to have Raki tied with Devi Janki. Same with one of my uncles as well. So, it's one of those festivals where that can become one of their main reasons for coming into Baba centers. So use that opportunity for that. But then the other side of the Rakshabandhan festival is for us as yogis, us as regular students. So there are several levels to our celebration of Raki. One was something that Baba took up in this last week, and that is our vow, our promise of celibacy. And maybe for some of you, that's not something that's there in your lifestyle at the moment. But ultimately, to become a yogi, it's a necessity because the basis of being a yogi rather than just a devotee is actually this inculcation of celibacy. So if you think that you want to have the courage to inculcate celibacy, you can think about it in this next few weeks and up to the point in which you have that festival celebrated at your center. And why we tie the Raki every year is sometimes it can feel overwhelming for people to commit to celibacy forever. So the question that Baba is putting to all of us, can you remain celibate for 12 months? Do you feel you want to give this a go? Give it a try. And so if you feel ready, then tie that Raki with firstly that thought, that in this next 12 months, I will observe celibacy. Also, if you want to add into that the sattvic food, and sattvic refers to a diet which does not have any meat, poultry, seafood, onion, garlic, radish, chive, or figs. And these things, they have either a very strong, pungent nature, or they have some kind of direct animal product or killing of animals, violence against animals. So the sattvic diet has been traditionally that. In fact, if you're going pure sattvic, then even oil, chili, I think that there's a strictness there as well. Um, so you can think about that. And if we're going even further than that, then Baba would say, think about preparing the food at home, because there's like a holiness to the process of making a meal that Baba introduces. He's not necessarily wanting us to just have convenience. When it comes to waking up in the morning, when it comes to listening to the Morley, when it comes to preparing meals, he's saying, well, maybe you do need to do less of something else, so you got time to do these things. And you can prepare the meal in Baba's remembrance. You could then offer that food to Baba, and then you could eat that food. So that can also be part of the Raki thinking. So think about those things. Then, if you're a yogi who has maybe you've had those things in place for a while, then the thoughts turn to your internal purity. And we've been hearing quite a lot, maybe on a daily basis, even recently, about the concept of the criminal eyes. And of course, in the world, we don't criminalize people for thinking and feeling and looking. But Shiv Baba is very clear that it is a crime according to the deity religion. So my understanding is that our karma is also according to our original religion. And he tells us that you are the souls that were part of Lakshmi and Narayan's religion and kingdom. You are part of Krishna's clan. And because of that, your karma is benchmarked according to that purity. So for you, the impurity carries a greater burden of sin than someone who comes later in the cycle, and they've always had the vices. So in some religions and traditions, celibacy is never part of the religion or tradition. So their original sanskars are not of purity. There are many cultures and traditions that have like always had seafood, uh, always had meat eating, other things. Baba tells us that in the golden age, you were all following this diet. So for you, everything is benchmarked according to that. The Baba was saying to us that in the golden age, you had civil eyes, which means that you didn't have any impure thoughts, you didn't have impure dreams. So the standard he's putting in front of us is much higher. But he's saying actually that's what you were like before. And you did have that purity not only just for one lifetime, but it lasted for a whole half cycle. So you had a very long term purity. So I was saying it's not that it's something unusual for you, but it's become abnormal. What's become normal is using the license. So what this Raki is about is for us to be thinking about, what does love mean? What is genuine love? Because Baba says you now have to become deities who are the ocean of love. Shibaba is, of course, the ocean of love. But Shibaba doesn't have any of the vices. So he's also being the example of how it's possible to have love without the vices. Because, again, we've lost all this over the centuries of the copper and the iron age. We can't really imagine it. We can't really conceptualize it. Because, if one way of looking at the vices is actually different forms of love. Lust, that's self-explanatory, and it's love based upon physical attraction. It's like a chemical, literally, it's a chemical reaction that happens inside of the bodies. And then attachment, again, that's very apparent, isn't it? What we call love, is really what Baba would call attachment, isn't it? So we love based upon like physical relations or certain friendships and certain connections. So Baba says you are like defining people based on body consciousness. Otherwise, actually, everyone is your brother's soul. And if you put it that way, we should be having that same love for everyone. But we don't. We love some people more than others. We care for some people more than others. We are loyal to some more than others. And Baba says it's not like that in the Golden Age. In the Golden Age, you have this love for all. And before then, you have to become an angel. So an angel is completely unlimited. Baba was explaining to us, if you remember, we were repeating the Murlis from 18th January 2000 and before then 1999. And what Baba explains to us is that it's a Persian word for angel called farishta. And Baba says that you can break down that word in two ways. And one is rishta, means connection. So farishta means farishta, to be without any connection to anything. And then the second meaning of this word, for angel, farishta, a farish is like something like a relationship, a connection, a burden of some sort, farish. So farishta means to be double light, to be completely light of everything. So to be an angel means to not have any burdens and not to have any connections. So if you think where Baba is taking us, this Raki is really our route towards that, because we're learning what is pure vision. And it's only when we begin to change our vision that our attitudes and feelings can begin to change. If we're still looking with the vision of mind, then we will never change. And that's been one of the questions running through the Murlis these last 2 or 3 weeks. Children, have you really changed? And do you remember he was saying to us about 10 days ago that his observation is some Brahmins have changed 10%, some 20%. But it's really fundamental change he's looking for within us, not just improvement. Of course, we've all improved. There's no doubt about it. Everyone's life is better because of Baba. But to become an angel means complete transformation, doesn't it? It's not just a bit of an improvement. So Baba's saying to us, this Raki is really your stepping stone towards this. And so what we could do is we could make a powerful promise that we're going to, in this year, tie the Raki, yes, for celibacy, yes, for the sattvic food, But we're also going to keep our eyes on the forehead of everyone. So this is the Raki of not looking below the eyebrow. We're just going to look at the brother soul seated on the immortal throne of the forehead. And Baba was saying to us this week that as you get towards your Karanatit stage, you will have this permanent feeling of being a soul talking to a soul. But Baba was saying you're not really there yet. But we're hearing the Morley's from 1968 at the moment. So for Brahma Baba, he was ready to go, ready to become an angel. So Baba is saying there's no other way to do this. You have to develop this vision. Otherwise, you haven't really changed. You're still using your BKs, but you're still using your old body conscious vision and your old, it's like devotee attitudes. So these vices of lust, of attachment, they become the definition of love. But Baba's changing this again. What is angelic love? And then today Baba's talking about greed, and any type of desire is greed, isn't it? So Baba says to us, can you reach a point of satisfaction through yoga? Because if you got everything, you're full. You won't have any desire. There will be no greed. And Baba warns us quite frequently, doesn't he, that as you become more successful as a yogi, more successful as a BK, the desire for name and fame and prestige can increase, in fact. You can become more upset if you're not given that recognition than you were when you were a junior. When you were a junior, you didn't expect it anyway. But then you become more senior, you think you should be getting it. And many years back when I might have still been, maybe I was visiting London. I was visiting London and Lady Janki was tying Raki. And they were still, I don't know if they do it anymore, but when we were also in the London Centre, people were very sensitive about which chairs they sit in the auditorium of Global Corporation House. And I was speaking with the sister, she was helping with ushering. And she said the most difficult thing is just getting seating for everyone because people just become so upset if they don't have the seat that they're used to, or they're senior, they feel they should be in the front row. And what they've done in recent years in Madhaban as well is just removed all the labels. They used to have labeled this sister and this. And then you get actually senior sisters getting upset with each other because they feel they should have the seat on the row in front and they've been put on. We can become so limited, can't we? So, Baba just laughs at this because he's saying, I'm giving you the kingdom of the world. I'm making you to angels, and you are just so bothered about these limited things. These things don't matter. It doesn't matter. Just forget about this. But we can become small-minded. And you can see how, its ego is also a love of the self. So we begin to think, well, I've got to promote myself in some way. That ego is love of the self. So it's a form of love as well. And then all of this creates anger because they're all, if these things are not fulfilled, we become angry. So anger is also an expression of love. So you could look at all of the vices as actually the soul is expressing love, but it's got twisted by body consciousness. So what Raki is saying is bring back the boundaries. Because love without boundaries becomes vices. And if you look at what Baba is doing, what is Srimat? Srimat is boundaries, right? And what Baba is saying, you can't really trust yourself because if you just let yourself be loose, you'll just use old sanskars. That's what you've been doing for thousands of years. So why would you trust yourself? And Baba is saying, look at the picture of the staircase. You've just been doing what you want. or you've been following everyone else. You're just coming down the staircase. You haven't attained God. You haven't attained liberation. So Baba's saying now, I'm going to show you the boundaries that you got to bring back into your love so that it becomes pure love again. And the same love can actually liberate you. The same love that is creating the karmic accounts, if you add in the boundaries, actually it can liberate you. So, but this is Baba's purification. So Rakshabandhan is purification. So this is my advice. We could all take this thought together. That let's focus on our vision. That'll then influence our attitudes and really work internally onto what Baba's wanting, which is that spiritualization of our connection with everyone. So let me stop there. Regin Ben is also now with us.
Shanti, everyone.
So I don't know if Regin Ben wants to share anything, or if any of you would like to come in and share anything.
No, I just you must have, all I can see is at this Rakhi time is Dadi Janki, we remember more because here the Rakhi, and then she made it such a tapasya, doesn't she? From Europe, everywhere they used to come and stay and, have Rakhi died, and then it used to go on until sometimes over midnight when there were many. And, it was total tapasya because it was a total contrast from Madhuban. I wanted to experience at least one Rakshabandhan, that which I did. I was lucky. After that, I haven't been, but I thought it will be so peaceful. But there, India being India, and it's all noisy. It's very spiritual. I mean, dadis and all that. But did you also experience it? So I was a bit surprised at first, but I found such a big contrast. And they also said that your Iraqis, so peaceful girls, those who from Madhuban came and experienced. Whereas in India, there's 6 or 7 dadis, and they just, talk, and it's rather noisy, not very noisy like outside, but still, compared to what when daddy is here, she likes such a tapasvi, very peaceful atmosphere, very silence and going deep and just being with Baba. It's because she used to have this request to Baba and this her attention that this is a real time that you can have such a tapasya chance. And in a gathering, everybody, is we can have impact on the entire world, on us, our sanskars, everything. And she used to prepare herself. It's not as if she used to always say, I'm doing for myself. And she used to prepare and be with Baba. So Baba comes and ties each and each one of us. Raki, not Daddy. This is why she paid attention that her state should be such that there's no body consciousness. Baba must come, and it was like that. So, and she was teaching us to do that because if you see all the daddies, they have practiced so much. Who am I? Who do I belong to? And what do I have to do? From the beginning until they became Paramatit, they remained humble instrument, humble child, Baba, and paying attention on the stage and purity. Because I remember Mama when somebody said, "Come, Mama, and have Rakhi tied," and Mama said, "No, I have already tied once," because her stage was such that once she was surrendered, she was pure. And she was a very good example that much purity, that much stage. Then it's not as if she was arrogant, but she was teaching us that But no, we need to have it tried every year, because how prepare yourself, and then Baba will fulfill whatever, but there should be such purity and preparation of the self. And so it is a reminder each year. Somebody had asked Dadi and Sudeshban, why do we need to? We have tried it already. And they said, we forget. And it's a good reminder, self-checking and promises we made to check, have we fulfilled, have we become what Baba says. And lately, the Murlis, Baba is reminding us a lot about having this determination and reminding that Baba never gets upset. Baba has, just look, Baba looks at the virtues, and the greatest sacrifice is not seeing anybody's impurity or defects. Like Baba does not see, Baba just sees the diamond in each and every one, all 7 billion children. But he reminded yesterday, we don't value ourselves. Even outside people with their higher positions have such a pride. But Baba, it has a wonder. Baba wonders why my children don't have that in their behavior, in their pure pride. So this is the time, and this Dadi Janki made such a beautiful, like, even before videos, but even now, those who have been experiences for a couple of, however long we have been with came in Gyan and tried Raki, you see it goes on, so sometimes, of course, others come and but it is the time to check the self and just make your own state, because that noise is nothing compared to what at the destruction, everything at now, even we are seeing in the world. Every day there's so much chaos, which is increasing. So that is the preparation time. Dadi always said that tapasya and being so much with Baba. And all this raksha, all this protection will be like a shield. It will protect so long as we keep our promise and be aware of that and be with Baba. Shalom. If anybody else has anything.
Anyone else like to ask anything, if not about Rakshabandhan, about anything else?
Hi, Shalan Bhai. Hi, Rajni Ben. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I wanted to ask you, when you talk about the virtue of purity, so Lokit people don't really connect with that virtue. So how would you handle that if you were to explain the concept of purity to the Lokit people?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? So I think of course, you're feeling the pulse, aren't you? Everyone is different, the contexts are different. So what we tend to do is focus more, I think, initially on knowledge, because all of us are inculcating purity based on understanding. If we're only doing it because we understand why we've got to do it, and we're doing it because we understand the attainments that we will get from it. The problem with the path of Bhakti has been the absence of instant attainments. So a lot of Bhakti is done on the basis of a future promise after you die. So after you die, you will go to heaven. After you die, you will attain God. After you die, you will get this. And for the average monk or nun even, their life is actually very austere. And they're not getting instant attainment necessarily. And certainly often not enough to fulfill themselves. So they can become quite dry, really, within themselves and in their personality. So I think what's happened over time is people have noticed that people who are not part of a family, they're living a singular life, they're living a life of spirituality, they tend not to be happy. So I think it's this combination of knowledge and us Brahmins being happy that actually will attract people to understand why celibacy could be an option. Certainly, if you go to a center and you see BKs who themselves are just not that happy, and people, even if they didn't say anything, they'll just feel that this is not the type of life I want for my son. So I think it's going to be a combination of both. And one thing Baba was saying this week as well is like people should begin to feel the vibrations of your fullness. The service through the mind. There's a lot to do with this internal fulfillment through yoga. So as souls feel that, they feel that you're actually attaining something now. You have attained something. And then it makes these sacrifices feel like small things. Otherwise, they're going to feel that they're giving up so much happiness for not much, or for a future promise that they won't even see, an intangible. So I think that's it. And then I don't know if there's certain programs we could create where we're talking about lifestyle in particular. It's something I have thought about quite a lot over the years, but I haven't done it yet, which is like whether at university we could have a celibacy summit or something like that. But I think the obstacle comes because there have been so many child abuse scandals connected with celibate priests. Whereas the like the Church of England, for example, it's not celibate, the priests don't remain celibate. And there have been many fewer scandals. So this is what I mean, that people will follow celibacy, but they don't get fulfilled through it. And so then the vices are actually not conquered. And so I think this is why in people's minds, there's actually a feeling of celibacy not being connected with actually more corruption, in fact, than that. So I think we've got a journey to be able to show people that actually can be a good lifestyle choice. Do you want to come back and say anything on that?
Actually, when you talk about love, we say pure love, right? So love and purity, they are both related. So love can easily be misunderstood as attachment or loss. So it's quite a very tricky situation. So if you were to explain pure love, it means it should be based on soul consciousness. So when you try to relate to people, you should be able to explain those concepts. So this is what I was trying to refer to.
Yes, I think what we're doing is we are doing two things here. So we're transferring relations up to Shubhava. So I think what we're saying, we're not really going from body conscious love directly into pure love for others. What we are doing is we're transferring the love from the creation to the creator. So firstly, it's that, and we are reattaching ourselves upwards. We are reconnecting upwards. And it's only as we get more and more connected with Shubhava that we begin to feel more and more unlimited. And the vision of soul consciousness is really this vision of becoming unlimited. So we are moving away from the limited attachments to unlimited consciousness. So I think those are the transitions, but I think it would not really be possible to go straight from body conscious love straight to pure love. I think it's this process of connecting fully with Shubham, which then leads to the pure love fathers.
Okay, but I think I got the answer. It's not an easy topic to handle.
I don't think it's easy to handle, but I think what we focus on is this connection with Shubham. That's the first step, yeah. And then the knowledge, and I was speaking with one brother from Switzerland. I've known him many years, and I asked him, what was it? Because he's from a European background. So what was it that attracted you to this knowledge? And he said it was the picture of the staircase. That's what did it. Something, he saw that picture. And I think it's a really great picture. So it showed me that people of all backgrounds, the picture of the staircase is saying you were once pure. You were once. And if this emerges inside of the soul, that I was once pure, then the possibility of inculcating that celibacy grows. But if I don't have that once, it's like a faith that I was this, then I think it's going to be difficult to want to inculcate purity. So I think that's where the knowledge bit comes in. And then the yoga bit, this main blessing that Baba gives us, may you be pure, may you be yogi. And so to be a yogi, I need that purity because I'm transferring upwards into Baba, and he is becoming my other half. He is becoming my husband. He is becoming my beloved. So it's not really compatible to not have, the celibacy is what's compatible with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thanks a lot to those of you who were here, as I say, for the chit chat before and also during this recording, and also warm greetings to those of you tuning in later on through the YouTube video. Next week is a Global Bhatti week, so we'll be having a yoga meditation commentary during this chit chat session. So we look forward to meeting some of you then. Om Shanti. Have a good week.
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti. Om Shanti.